Here's my instant impression of the Chevrolet Volt. Visually, one of the first things that you'll notice about the car is how they've closed off most of the grille opening. Why? Because even though there is an engine under the hood here, it's an extended range electric car. The engine's not on all that much, so you can seal this off and get much better aerodynamics. You don't need as much cooling for the engine. Next thing that I really noticed is how flush the tires are with the side of the car. Again, visually it's very good, but more importantly, it's for aerodynamics, trying to keep as much detached flow as possible. Again, visually, one thing that you'll notice is how they've blacked out the bottom part of the window opening here. If it had not been blacked out, the car would have much more of a hunkered down armored car look to it. By painting this black, visually it opens up what the car looks like from the side. At the rear here, you'll notice, of course, that they kept the trunk lid opening rather high for two reasons. Number one, gives you more trunk space. Number two, it's for aerodynamics. A third aerodynamic point I really want you to look at here is this very crisp line. That's for separation, where you get a clean break in the airflow so that you don't create as much turbulence and drag at the rear of the car. But let's go inside, because this is where this car gets a lot more interesting. I really like the layout of this interior in the vehicle. One thing that you'll notice as soon as you get in is how the video screens light up and start showing you different kinds of things. More on that in a moment. The next thing that I noticed right away is how they've had this color offset, this insert on the door panel that carries through the dashboard to the other side of the car and into the seats. You can get different colors. You don't just have to get this green. The center stack is something that I find very interesting. You'll see that there's different functions that you can touch, and that's all you have to do is touch it. They're touch sensitive. There's no detent, and of course there's no cut lines. I've never seen any other car or any other car company do anything quite like this, so it's very unique. But look what happens when I turn on the power button, how this thing really lights up. Very high tech, very interesting on what they're doing here. And you can get all different kinds of things that will tell you what's going on in the car. How the power is going from the engine to the battery or just from the battery to the wheels. You can see what kind of charging that you've got and how long it's going to take you to charge. You can learn more energy about what kind of consumption this thing's getting. Right now it claims that it's been averaging 60.5 miles per gallon for what I've been driving, but since this car was built, it's been averaging nearly 149 miles. Here on the instrument cluster too, you can get all kinds of different information about what's available on this car. You can set different driving modes as well. We've been driving in normal, but I can set it for sport. I can get it to go for the mountain range as well. So lots of different things that you can play around with, but enough of the playing around with all this stuff. So let's take it out on the road right now. Shift it down into drive. We're starting out now in pure electric power, but this battery's not fully charged, so we're going to get into the engine fairly quick, and you'll be able to see when the engine comes on. But you can't hear it, at least not at this speed right now. Very quiet the way the engine comes on. However, if I really floor it, get the engine to really rev up, then back out of the gas, the engine stays up for a while, then it starts to come down and gets very quiet again. And so this is kind of like driving a car with a continuously variable transmission, a CVT. There's sort of a disconnect between what the gas pedal's doing and what the engine's doing. Another thing that you'll notice is, even though this car can be very quiet at low speeds, once you get rolling a bit, you start hearing some tire noise come through the vehicle. It's not that it's obtrusive or noisy, it's just that there's so much of a lack of other noise. I really start to notice the tire noise and a little bit of wind noise, because this is a hatchback and the whole back area there is completely open. Another thing that I like is when you do step into it, it's almost as if the thing's kicking down. That's when you get into this very controversial thing of, is it a hybrid or is it an electric car? Because that's when the motor does hook up with the wheels. But of course, that's what makes this car as efficient as it is, so that doesn't bother me at all. And it's kind of reassuring to feel that kind of a kickdown. So overall, this is a vehicle that's very interesting because it is an extended range electric vehicle. For the time being, it's going to be the only one of its kind on the road right now, and that is what makes the Chevrolet Volt very different from anything else on the road.
Introducing Bridgestone's third generation of run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technologies. Bridgestone run-flat tires offer improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear while giving you the peace of mind and comfort you need.